everyone. I wanted to put together a load of videos to show some of the basic things in windsurfing and wingfoiling to make this sport that a little bit easier for you all to progress in. This one is going to be about how to jibe. So we're first going to start with doing the jibe on the beach, then moving it to the water but without foiling, and then finally progressing to actually doing the full foiling jibe. Let's get on with it. So the first tip I want to share with you is basically how to hold your wing. Now, I've not seen this anywhere before. I think it's a really good idea personally. Now, most people they hold their wing in this kind of position, so both hands with the knuckles up on both sides of the wing. Now this is fine, but it makes handing over the wing quite difficult, because if I want to hand it over, I've got to cross my hands like this, to about like that. And what I think a lot of people do is they actually use kind of one of the intermediate handles, so you can't go handle to handle. But if you hold it like this is kind of a classic kind of windsurfing stance. Again, it was personal preference, but your back hand with your knuckles up, and your front hand with your knuckles down, you can very easily pass it hand to hand, just like that. Super, super easy. And if you want to do your jibes, this makes it easy as well, because you just go straight from the same handle to the same handle again. And then you can do it super, super easy. Whereas this is quite complex. You see what I mean? So running through the jibe, so you're going along quite happily. You show the wing to the wind, so pushing it away from you and pulling in a bit with the back hand. Then you start accelerating downwind. Once that board started to calm round, you then want to switch your hands. So you're pulling this hand across your body, replacing it in that hand, and then putting your back hand on the back again. One more time. So pulling the wing in, showing it to the wind, pulling this across, front hand to front hand, super, super simple, pulling on the back hand. Doesn't get easier than that. So you want to try this first on the land, get really, really comfortable with it, then take it to the water and do it on the surface in the exercises I'll show you later. And then once you've nailed all of that, then move it to foiling jibes. With all that in your arsenal, you should find it fairly easily.
Let's run through the surface jibe. So here we are showing the wing to the wind and pushing it forward ever so slightly. We are pulling our front hand across our body and switching our hands. With that done, we're now moving our back hand to its position on the back handle, and we're pulling in the wing to force the board to pull itself round. The board is now round in its new trajectory, and we can think about switching feet. And that is the foot switch complete, and we're done. We'll do this one more time at full speed. We're sending that wing forward and showing it to the wind, pulling our front hand across, changing hands, back hand in the correct position now, pulling in and letting the board come round. Just before we move on, I want to show how useful this can be for turning around super, super quickly to catch a gust or something like that. So in a second I will quickly change hands and pull in, and as you can see the board has turned around super, super quick. Now I've just spotted this gust over my shoulder and I'm pumping to get the board up and foiling. And as you can see, I've caught a gust which I would otherwise have missed without the ability to turn around very, very quickly. This can be super, super useful. Now we've got all the basics out the way, we can start to run through the full foiling jibe. To do this, you need to ride along with good speed and power, but yet being comfortable. First thing you need to do is to start showing the wing to the wind, as we've said many times before, and this will naturally pull your body slightly onto your toe side rail and engage the board into the carve. You'll then accelerate, and you continue in this pose for maybe half a second until you get to the point that you want to release your back hand and then start moving your front hand across your body like we've shown many times before. Then you go hand to hand, replacing your front hand with your new front hand, and then you need to think about getting your back hand on to the back of the wing. Then you pull in, which will give you more power and initiate the completion of the turn. Then you need to think about the foot switch, which I do ever so quickly here. And then all is left to do is ride off with a big grin in your face. Here it is without brakes, but in the opposite direction. Now we're pretty much done, but just before we finish, I want to go over some common issues that can occur while you're attempting the foiling jibe. First of all, it's possible to fumble the wing. Now, given the exercises that we had at the start of the video and the change of your hand positioning, this should mean that this is minimized. So hopefully with plenty of practice you should be able to get that hand transition done cleanly and effectively most of the time. Another thing that can happen is you lose your balance. Now, of course, this can happen at any time and can be quite dependent on the sea conditions as well. The things that I would advise to kind of improve this or reduce the likeliness of it happening is to lower your weight a little bit, and of course plenty of practice. Another thing which can go wrong is not completing the jibe quick enough, leading to you losing power or dropping off the foil. This can only really be improved with practice. Just keep at it, keep on going over and over again, and you should slowly improve and get quicker and quicker. And the whole process will become easier and easier. One thing you may have noticed I've not gone into any real detail at all in this video is the foot change. And the reason for this is because I feel it's quite setup dependent on your board and your foil. My foil is very evenly balanced and I've got very much 50-50 foot pressure. So if you notice that I'm changing my feet very quickly to keep the balance of the board. Some other foils require quite heavy front foot pressure when you're actually riding, and these mean that you can actually change your feet in a different way by largely stepping forward then stepping back. And because of that heavy foot pressure, it means that you haven't really upset the balance of the board quite so much as you would with mine. So I've chosen to leave this out. I think that's pretty much everything for now. So I just want to wish you the best of luck getting out there and trying it.
I hope you find this video useful, and I hope to produce some more. Please put some comments in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But besides that, see you next time. Later.